Hello, meet Sand, a perfectly charming little game in a box of a perfectly charming size that also happens to look really nice. Even, I might audaciously declare, sandsome. Hole-in-one! While the editor version of myself was loading that rancid pun with appropriately hilarious emphasis, I set up the game. Behold, sand! Wait, sand! And now that it's all laid out, let me show you around. This is a city. There are a few of them out here in the desert, and each of them has a couple of these curiously cube-shaped plants available for pickup. Straying into the wilderness beyond city walls and modern conveniences like Lowe's, we find the tribes. The lust for seeds among these people is insatiable. They just picked up gardening, you see, and as any budding gardener can tell you, the early stages of the gardening hobby require a lot of seeds, like a lot, depending on how bad you happen to be at keeping plants alive. And apparently the tribes are not super good at keeping plants alive because they are cramming seeds into their lives like hamsters cramming seeds into their massive cheeks. And if an entrepreneurial spirit, say a merchant astride a desert worm, happens to stop outside of their tent flaps with a packet or two of the seeds that they're looking for, they will pay top dollar for them, or top handicraft. And that is the best because authentic handmade crafts command sky-high prices at port. So we've got cities producing plants and tribes who are simply rapacious to nurture them, with nobody to navigate the countryside that yawns in between. And that is where you come in. That's right, just like the new Domino's location that just opened its doors a block from your apartment complex, the Dunes Desire delivery drivers. The qualifications for that noble profession are very different here, however. Leaden toes, a reckless disregard for posted speed limits, and a devil-may-care attitude toward pedestrian endangerment don't even make the list. I mean, you need those things when they count, but whether you make your fortune or destroy your livelihood here in the wastes depends upon how delicately or how harshly you treat the individual responsible for carrying you and your goods across them, your desert worm. Just like people, worms run on water, food, good health, and prayers. They need frequent naps, and they aren't fond of walking on paved roads because the cobbles burn their feet. You'll interface with your worm using these tokens. If you want to feed your worm, you'll spend the red token and feed it the amount of food indicated by the red dye. If you want to water your worm, you'll do the same thing with the blue token and the blue dye. Want to take the worm for a pedicure and a soak in the tub after a long journey? You'll use the black and white tokens for that. If you want to travel from one location to another, you'll need to spend a token that corresponds with a dye whose value matches the value needed for that type of road on your worm. Then, you'll need to adjust your worm's hydration, nourishment, and health tracks to reflect the wear and tear the worm sustained during the trip. And if your worm is too hungry or too thirsty or too tired to make the journey, you won't be able to travel at all until its needs have been met. Okay, we gotta get these seeds to the tribes before nightfall, all right, Wormly? So let's lance your blisters and get you back on the trail. We made it to the oasis, just 1 mile more, and we'll get to the tribes and they'll pay us. I can smell the gold, or maybe that's just you. I guess you can't really help it. You've got like 6 armpits, don't you, Wormly? All right, come on, let's get up, let's go. Wormly. We'll use a part of the gold to buy you a bubble bath. Wormly? Wormly! The arms of the angel This bond between worm and rider forms the heart of sand. Desert worms are quirky in their own little ways. They absolutely loathe traveling along some types of roads. Some roads are so hazardous that walking along them will put your worm's life in danger. If you overwork your worm, you'll have to give it tons of time to rest. If you don't work it hard enough, you won't get anything done because, as it turns out, worms are by nature just a bit lazy. If you work your worm hard and pray a lot, you'll likely get far because prayers can literally suppress your worm's appetite like divine doses of Ozempic. Deliver enough packages and your worm will evolve, growing sturdier and more experienced, able to traverse perilous routes with ease. It may even have a child, which of course you will put to work as soon as it can walk, because if Minecraft has taught us anything, it's that children crave manual labor. Learning the ways of the worm is essential to attaining success in sand, and it is my favorite part of the game. It's amazing how 3 indicators, water, food, and health, can so strongly communicate the image and personality of an animal. And by game's end, you and your worm will be as inseparable as Roy Rogers and Trigger, the Lone Ranger and Silver, or He-Man and Battle Cat. Sand is also replete with opportunities to deepen your influence and expand your capabilities as a merchant beyond your worm wrangling abilities. You can build a team of companions willing to lend you the use of their talents, allowing you to spring across the map in the blink of an eye, or open a relationship with the shaman and her network of mysteriously mobile acolytes. You can pay musicians to trumpet songs glorifying your exploits on every street corner in a city. Every round brings new missions you can collect for a cash bonus at the end of the game, or an immediate bonus. And in keeping with one of the most popular trends in board games today, each merchant character you can play has their own special ability that sets them apart from all of the others. And each of those abilities is as overpowered as an orangutan on cocaine. All of that is really nice and gives you something to twist your brain into a balloon animal over, albeit a relatively simple one. This is not a brain burner so much as it is like smothering your brain in a tangy theme sauce and tossing it onto a low-temperature brain barbecue. It is amiable to the eye. It plays in about an hour and a half with 2 people. It's more puzzly than Splendor or Azul, but not overwhelmingly so. And it's really nice. It's good. The rulebook can be a bit difficult to navigate. It's not that it's badly written, because it's not badly written at all. The rules are just organized in such a way as to make them difficult to reference on the fly, so I would recommend taking some time to really read the rulebook closely before you put this in front of your friends. The preponderance of iconography and cubes may be a touch rattling for those in your social circle unacquainted with mid-weight Euro games. Fortunately, the theming is tastefully applied in such a way as to make gameplay accessible and entertaining, even when you're losing, which I happen to have a lot of personal experience with. The magic of board games lies in their capacity to transport you into a set of circumstances in another world without you even realizing what is happening. You just have a moment or a series of moments during a game when you discover, oh, I was thinking like a general in World War II just then, or a merchant in the Mediterranean, because you caught yourself feeling actual agony over a soldier in your company getting shot, or the plunging price of sapphires in the Ottoman Empire. You got swept up into the wonder of play, which is something that we tend to lose sight of as we get older and we work jobs and we shoulder life's responsibilities. Sand does a great job of evoking that wonder. Not unlike a desert worm, it is a bit of a beast to tame, but once you've harnessed the rules and you're up in the saddle, you're cantering along through the shimmering heat, you will experience a life other than your own. A life that will at times be summarized with the age-old adage, seriously, worm, you're hungry again? You just ate. And that's fun. Did you know that we are on Instagram and TikTok? We tend to post more like lifestyle kind of content up there, like little top fives, things we're playing, unboxing videos, stuff like that. So if you want to keep up with that, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. We are not on Twitter though. Maybe we should get on Twitter. Ugh. See you next time, and if you like the video, like it, don't be shy, and if you don't want to miss any of our episodes, be sure to click that subscribe button. Bye!